Oh, I am Jake. Back to another video about mental health. Um, this video is talking about tips for going to a psychologist appointment and not get nervous about going to the appointment. I go. I telling you the steps for my experience to have a really relaxing time in in the in the session of the appointment. Um, First up, talking going to the medical center or for Australia. I live in Australia, going to Grand Pacific Health or any counselling centres in Australia and in the world. But I know only in Australia. First up, you must go to the front desk of the clinic and saying have an appointment with somebody, and the staff members is extremely helpful for the own needs and own needs of the care, and they're willing to help you have a pleasant time. And next, the staff member look on the system and see you on book in a counseling or a psychologist or a can't remember it, but a counselor and a psychologist, and they're usually nice to you, and the staff member guide you where you sit in the waiting room. And the when the appointment time happens, the psychologist or a counselor walks into the waiting room and calls out the name, and for the first time have the full name said, but when you are recording appointments, the call usually called the first name in the waiting room. From my experience, don't know the legal name um of the counselors and psychologists legal guideline, guidelines, but usually said the first name and have usually the psychologist or the counselor do, for my experience, is have small talk from the waiting room to the clinic itself, the psychologist room, and usually the ask questions about the favorite event, like you like sporting and you like um, for in the bank, like car racing, how they build up a report even walking into the psychologist room or a counselor room. And usually in the room itself, for my experience, they got the psychologist chair and the chair straight opposite of you. The psychologist chair is opposite of you, and usually the seat straight on you. And sometimes they got a couch, and the first um sorry, first couple questions for the first appointment need having asked questions like why you are here, why um why what what you're bothering in the life, like you're stressful or you are distressing or you are got some mental health conditions like bipolar disease or a eating disorder, and the psychologist having some questions, and the usually the more listening than talking, having having open-ended questions to get know you, and the psychologist or the counselor trying to have a relaxing time. If you are still anxious but in the room, the psychologist or the counselor um, maybe ask you to have a coffee or having a drink of water and trying to relax yourself. And it's I know it is difficult to in the in the room itself, but the psychologist and the counselor, their job is not judging you at all, and they got a lot of training. They got degree for the psychologists have degree level training, and they they have empathized to you, and they know that you are a completely different person, and they're, they're trying to help you to get through the difficult place, and they're for over time they're wanting to set up tools to make you more a more of a happier self, and that is the goal for the psychologist and a counselor trying to help you. This is not a judgmental place, it's a caring place. I empathize that it's a caring place. Um, and news back to the point itself. The appointment is For my experience, the apartment um, at the University of Canberra got a 30-minute session. If you are more novice, have a short session is maybe a best way to understand the process. But usually is 50 minute service because um, if you talking about a trauma or something like that, having a buffer for the next patient coming in to make sure you are okay and you are safe and have some support to to make yourself more relaxed to go outside of the apartment. Why got a 15 minute why got a 10-minute gap in the surface, and also the writing down notes of the situation. And sorry for the wind out there because it's a windy Easter Saturday day. But the but again, the really write down notes and is completely private between you and a psychologist or a counselor. Only couple reasons that a psychologist or a counselor have to disclose the information to a higher player. But most issues is never disclose anything on the file without the consent. And that is my experience in a psychologist apartment, and have some general ideas helping you the audience of low time is beneficial. Um, I like to have some leaks down the description about having got number of mental health channels to got videos on the what is a bad counselor or a psychologist, or what is a good counselor and a psychologist. Um, what is the warning signs of it, and other maybe put yeah and put also put in the description Lifeline and Beyond Blue for Australia. Thank you. Like this video and please comment down there. Thank you. I am Jake.